Chapter 5 Knife. Every cut on her left arm looked like a scream. She hated it. She wanted it gone. A single word stood for every cut. Why? 4 deep scars. Red, fresh, desperate. Invisible suffering. Had her parents taken her pain, her despair, upon themselves? How deep were these scars in their souls? These were the thoughts of the young Carr, who was trying to put his feelings into words while watching a girl through the window of the library. With his thoughts, he wanted to take a piece of her pain upon himself. Irrational, almost religious. Spellbound, he stared at the girl with the incompletely developed left hand. A hand without fingers. A flaw in the genetic code. A cruel whim of nature. It was the 7th day in the Westland. In the Westland, the genetic code was something untouchable, although people possessed the knowledge to change it. With the necessary technologies, they mainly supplied the Eastland, where people were born in breeding facilities, like young Carr. In the Westland, children were born by women with all the pain. In the Eastland, parents could choose their child from variations. An error was impossible there. Tools were available to select a direction. Not everything technically possible was realized in the genetic code. In the Westland, people believed that the supernova had almost wiped out humanity because it had begun to alter its genetic code too strongly. They were convinced that the deliberately falsified genetic code would lead to a convergence toward destruction. Carr left the library and followed the girl. After some time, she turned around and spoke several sentences in different languages, apparently to test him. "Hello, Carr," he answered somewhat awkwardly. "Hello, I am Limbus," she replied with a slight accent. Westlanders mastered several languages of the Eastlanders, while there were hardly any Eastlanders who knew the language of the Westlanders. Why learn a language when everything was translated by the crystal? And in the regions of the Westlands where the crystals did not work, almost everyone understood Eastland languages anyway. In general, every opportunity to reduce physical or cognitive effort was used in the Eastland. There was a widespread saying from antiquity: "Why reinvent the wheel?" The conversation between Carr and Limbus began with simple topics. To her, he was interesting and chaotic. Meeting a person from the Eastland and the Westland was always educational, a contrast against which one could measure one's own life. After long walks over the following days, a great youthful love began to unfold between them. Between the girl with the incompletely developed left hand and the boy from the Eastland. She opened up to him, just as he opened up to her. She told him about her pain and her thoughts, about complex feelings of injustice, about nature, about a way out, and much more. She showed him the knife with which she had cut the marks into her arm. It was a folding knife with a white cross on the handle. Like many other objects in the Westland, such a thing was new to Carr. "Careful," she warned him. "You're probably not used to it, but with this knife you can cut almost anything in the Eastland." At the time, Carr did not yet understand what she meant. Knives were always intended for a specific purpose. No knife could cut everything. Both knew that Carr was allowed to stay in the Westland for only 73 days, and that they would never see each other again afterward. Only adolescents from the Eastland were permitted to travel to the Westland, and only for 73 days, if they had won a lottery. Carr eagerly spoke about his plans, in which he considered every possibility that might allow them to stay together. They ranged from running away to the South Pole to hiding in the running tunnel of the Westland. They were good dreams for their evenings and nights together. Limbus liked listening to him. Her feelings for Carr awakened thought in her about time, a variable that is only one-dimensional and directed. while imagining the projection of multi-dimensional structures into three-dimensional space, she wished she could think of a multi-dimensional time variable or confirm its existence. What would it mean if time were a vector made of two or more parameters? If only she could imagine it. This knowledge lay outside the cage of imagination of a human brain. Aurum Limbus, part of a superior species, had fallen in love with Carr, the Eastlander, who spoke only one language and who, with high probability, would continue his life as an entropy machine in middle age with a crystal in his brain. She would enjoy the pain when he left. On the last day they returned to the place where they had first met and kissed for a long time. As a memory, Carr received from her the knife with which she had cut herself. From him she had received the greatest gift she could have wished for, a child from him, which she carried in her womb. The transporter picked Carr up. She told him nothing about the child. She would name the child Einstein, after the man from antiquity who had understood time best.